He laughed in court. That smirk, the same one he once used to charm me, now weaponized against me. "She's only after my wealth," he told the judge, his mother's approving eyes burning into me from the front row. He leaned back in his chair, the picture of arrogance. "She never even worked a real job." That was the moment. I stood, my voice steady, not loud but sharp enough to cut through the courtroom's whispers. "Your Honor?" 7 years earlier, I thought I had found a partner. He had dreams, big ones, a startup, an empire, a name etched into the city's skyline. I didn't have money, but I had something else, endurance. So I worked, mornings at the diner, afternoons tutoring, nights cleaning offices no one remembered were cleaned. 3 jobs, 7 years. Every paycheck deposited into his accounts. Every sacrifice justified as our future. He promised I wouldn't have to do it forever. "Just until I get it off the ground," he'd whisper, brushing the hair off my tired face. I believed him, because love makes you blind, but dreams make you foolish. It started subtle. Phone calls answered in another room. Business trips that stretched longer than they should. His shirts smelled faintly of perfume that wasn't mine. Then came the slip. A single text that flashed across his screen while he slept beside me. "Don't forget, she thinks you're working late again." The sender's name was hidden, but I didn't need a name. My gut filled in the blanks his lies never could. I didn't scream, didn't throw the phone at his face. I closed my eyes, turned my back, and began to plan. Emotion is weakness. He expected tears, accusations, a dramatic scene. That's what men like him count on, chaos they can dismiss as hysteria. But I gave him silence, and silence is terrifying. Because while he laughed with his mother about my nagging, while he built his shiny company with money I bled for, I built something else, evidence. I copied every transfer I ever made into his account. I saved every receipt, every text where he promised repayment, every email where he acknowledged my help. I consulted an attorney, quietly, paid in cash. Meanwhile, I smiled at him, kissed his cheek, packed his suitcases for business trips. I even brought his mother flowers on her birthday. They thought I was still playing the dutiful wife. But really, I was documenting every cruelty, every slip, every careless insult. By the time he filed for divorce, pushed by his mother's poison whispers, I was ready. They expected a weak woman, begging for scraps. Instead, I walked into that courtroom with 7 years of ammunition. "Your Honor," I said, the weight of the moment coiled tight in my chest. "He says I never worked a real job. Let me show you." I handed the clerk a folder, thick as a brick. My years compressed into paper. Pay stubs, bank transfers, tax records, every cent I earned poured into his empire. The judge's eyes flicked through the evidence, brows tightening. My husband's smirk faltered. I wasn't finished. I slid out the second folder. Emails, messages, proof of infidelity. His late nights spent in hotel rooms, paid for with my money. And then the dagger. His mother's own messages, encouraging him to leave her once you've made it. The courtroom gasped. His mother's face drained white. He reached for the papers, frantic, but it was too late. They weren't his to control anymore. The judge's gavel hit the desk like thunder. Given this evidence, the court rules. I didn't hear the rest. I didn't need to. His empire, the one he thought he built alone, was now sliced in half, legally mine. He looked at me then, not with arrogance, not even with anger, but with something new, fear. The realization that the woman he underestimated had gutted him without raising her voice. His mother wouldn't meet his eyes. The son she molded into her weapon had just been dismantled by the wife she mocked.
I walked out of that courtroom lighter than I'd felt in years. I wasn't the girl who worked 3 jobs anymore. I wasn't the fool who believed whispered promises. I was the woman who turned betrayal into justice. He thought he could humiliate me. Instead, I let him destroy himself. My revenge wasn't rage. It was patience. It was proof. It was the quiet, steady voice that began with 2 words: